So nice to see all your smiling faces. At least I assume they're smiling. It is nice to see you all here. Thank you for coming. I'm Barbara David, director of the Asbury Players, and I want to thank you for coming, and I want to remind you about a few things. If you have not got your raffle tickets yet, you want to get some, and I can make that happen. You can raise your hand, but we all got to get up on the way in. So turn off your cell phones, or silence them, or throw them out the window. I don't care what you do with them. I don't want to hear them ringing, or dinging, or pinging, or vibrating. That didn't rhyme so well. Exits back there, or at the door you came in out. There will be an intermission. Make sure you get your ice cream over in the fellowship hall, and then you can see all our old posters from all our old shows too. And remember how cute we used to be. The refreshments are courtesy of Nob Hill Foods, so make sure you shop there and tell them how nice they are, so they'll do it again. And should you be so inclined as to love this show and really want to support us, you can throw more money into the applause donation basket on your way out, which I hope you will, and I know you love the show. Only don't be frightened.
As long as it has electricity.
There's the most marvelous little vase. It would look great in that space in our hall, you know, next to the table.
Jessica, it's rather disconcerting that you are more interested in that vase than your lost husband.
Stay where you are, darling. I'll flick on the lights.
That shows a little head.
Nothing happened.
Just keep talking. I'll find you.
What do I say?
Ow!
You're getting closer.
Keep talking. Count.
Oh dear. B3, N27, under the O64.
Oh, bingo!
Darling, you made it. After all this time, you found me. But you've aged. Oh, yes, you have. Silver threads and all that.
Don't give me any of your outdated dialogue. Just an apology.
For what?
For not following my advice and waiting till the others got here.
But this puts us a huge step ahead of them to see this room first. Why don't you sit over there and I'll go find the lights?
You said they didn't work.
There must be a master switch around here somewhere. One of those enormous big levers.
I wouldn't venture out there if I were you.
It's perfectly safe. The light board is always near the stage somewhere. Ow!
Good, we're even.
I hope you've kept up my Blue Cross.
Medicare takes you over in October.
Ha, ha.
This is a dreary place.
It's supposed to be. Shh, here it is.
Find it?
There's a bank of lots of little switches. Ready?
Go ahead. Marvelous. If I were Laurence Olivier, I'd never forgive you. Try another.
This is number 5.
It's green! You made me look like Lon Chaney.
Oh, here it is. It's a big lever. Here we go.
Oh, this is a dreadful room.
It's an exact reproduction, or so Miss Summers said. Oh, you're right. I wouldn't be caught dead here.
Well, many have been.
Oh, that's good, Whitney. Your sense of humor's coming back. Now what do?
Silly girl, have a martini.
What a whoppingly brilliant idea.
I thought you'd like it.
Here,
Oh,
hold these.
this does sort of seem like we're in a living room, doesn't it?
Except the furniture's placed all wrong.
It's dreadful, I give you that, but I imagine it's right for the set.
No, I mean it's placed all wrong. Doesn't that ever annoy you? All the furniture's facing out there.
If it were facing out there, the audience would be able to see the actors' faces.
I know that. God, you're stupid. I just meant that if this were a real living room, all the furniture would be arranged in little clusters.
Conversational units, as you call them?
That's right. Olive?
Oh, naturally. But if the furniture were facing there, how would then they see the actors' faces?
It would be better in some cases.
Oh, naturalistic theater, that's called.
Like that dreary little thing we saw off Broadway?
Some parts of it were enjoyable.
You're a dirty old man.
Granted.
Who would invest in a nude version of Hedda Gabler?
Other dirty old men. What do we drink to?
The project, of course.
Oh, good idea.
Here's to death, murder, violence, and mayhem.
Oh, but with sophistication.
With sophistication.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Now everything's right with the world.
Whitney!
Don't do that!
I just had the most chaotic thought. What if we don't like the others?
One can't like everyone.
But we already signed the contract.
It pays good money.
You always have the right phrase to say at the right time.
Besides, even if we despise the others, it'll be good to get back to work. Me sitting at the typewriter, you pacing back and forth, trading ideas.
Bickering is what you mean.
We don't really bicker, darling. Sometimes we have slight disagreement.
You mean like that time you wanted to hurl a hatchet into that girl's back?
Are you ever going to forget that?
It was such a bloody idea. Our readers would have closed the book then and there. From us, they expect pleasant murders. A simple poison, a quick shot in the dark, a genteel stab in the back, if it's genteel, like with a hat pin. But really, hatchet's wit? You must have been drinking early that day.
I was trying to change the pattern.
You don't change a pattern that pays off.
Paid off.
Paid off? But people still read our books, don't they?
Sure, in the dentist's office, after they're done with the National Geographic.
Oh, we have more than enough to live off comfortably the rest of our lives, and I don't regret a moment of it. But you're right, I am excited about working again.
It's about time our style came back into vogue anyway.
We took murder to a new high, didn't we? We were like an art gallery. All these new ones, they're like butcher shops.
I wish someone else would get here soon. I feel rather stupid sipping a martini in an empty sound studio.
The place will be bustling with authors soon enough, don't worry. They sure make these sets realistic, don't they?
Well, that's the point.
These are canvas, but I could swear they were walls. And the ceiling, I suppose it's for the acoustics.
Probably. Hello! See, no echo.
Hello!
My voice is changing?
Over here, follow the gleam.
Be right with you. Oh, this isn't a revolt, isn't it?
Wait till you get to where we are.
It's a woman.
Must be Mildred Maxwell.
Oh, I made it. Oh, those lights are bright, aren't they?
Stand under the right color and it'll take 10 years off you.
Well, nothing can do that short of a visit to Lord's. How do you do? I'm Mildred C. Maxwell.
We've read all of your books.
Oh, why, thank you, dear. A few million more like you and I wouldn't have to be here now. Are you Summers?
Wrong.
Oh, I hate to be wrong.
Whitney Olive. And this is my wife, Jessica.
Oh, I should have known. The martinis.
Would you like one?
Never drink on the job, dear. Coagulates the brain. And may I say, though, I have read every book that you've written.
Now we're even.
But I had no idea you were so like your characters.
In what way?
Well, all of your books start out with a charming couple sipping martinis, and then things happened. It was like a trademark.
No, we have an image to maintain.
Besides, we happen to enjoy martinis.
So do I, dear, but I never made a career out of it. Where are the others?
No one else has come yet.
Honestly, what do you think of this whole thing?
Oh, it should be delightful fun, as long as we don't end up fighting.
Every bee to his own bonnet, as I always say.
I wondered what you always said.
You are like your books. Marvelous. I wish I were. I try to be, but it never comes out quite right.
How do you mean?
Well, my characters are so thoroughly logical, and my plots are so spectacularly organized. And yet in reality, I could barely manage to balance my checkbook. You wouldn't think that from my stories, would you?
Oh, certainly not. We think they're somewhat of a geometry problem. They're so brilliantly plotted. Many's the time that Jess and I wish we had more of your ingenuity.
And many's the time that I have wished for your comic flair for the urbane.
Oh, we're gonna get along perfectly. We're getting along like a house of fire already.
Oh, mutual respect. It's what every author should have.
Especially mystery writers who are dated.
Nonsense. Why, your books are as alive and thrilling as ever.
But we've kept sex to a minimum, and we've avoided violence whenever possible.
And mine are timeless. The unusual weapon and the interfering detective, and then bring everyone into the room and reveal the answer. It's the basis of all murder books.
Not anymore, I'm afraid. So take our characters, for instance. Always rich, sophisticated, always from the 400. What do you read about now? Why, pick up any murder mystery, and all the girls have bosoms like watermelons and rich, creamy thighs. I never wrote any girl like that.
He may have thought it, but he never wrote it.
Oh, we'll be back, dear. Just hold on to your typewriters. The pendulum is swinging. Even the sexy CIA agent and all his super weapons is out. I bet Brad Benedict hasn't even sold 1,000 copies of his latest.
I get my royalty statement next month, but I think you may be right.
There I go again, putting my foot in, right up to the knee.
It's okay, it's true.
How do you do? I'm Whitney Olive.
I know who you are, both of you. You're the Olives. I've always loved that name. Goes so well with martinis. And Miss Maxwell, a pleasure.
And you're Brad Benedict, the author who brought the transistor radio to the pencil and the camera to the cigarette lighter.
It was good while it lasted.
We're just complimenting each other's murders. Care to join in?
Am I expected to compliment my idols?
Ooh, I like that.
Without you stalwarts of the murder mystery, I never would have had my short-lived career. I learned everything from you.
That is a nice speech, dear. Sit down and join us.
Oh, and have a martini.
My pleasure. Just a handful, please.
Oh, never underestimate my wife. Jess, a glass?
I always carry a spare for guests.
Summers isn't here yet?
No, just the three of us so far. One thing we have decided, though. They may expect a fight, though we're not going to give it to them. We will collaborate peacefully and make a fortune.
I'm all for that.
Just to clear the air, dear, though, there's one thing about you I do hate. It's not your modern style, of course, because you have such a dramatic flair. It's your name.
What's wrong with it?
The two
Thanks.
B's. I hate authors with alliterative names.
What about yours?
Well, I predate you, unfortunately.
What about yours, Mildred? You changed it around. I read it somewhere.
Damned Reader's Digest.
You were born Zelda Mildred and changed it to Mildred Z. Maxwell.
Besides, Brad Benedict is my real name. Actually, it's Bradley Bruce Benedict. Are you ready for that?
I concede.
Yes to you. Good. You never get them dry enough these days.
Wit has the secret.
What?
I pour the gin in the thermos, close it up tight, and then whisper vermouth from another room.
Say, this is quite the rotten old room, isn't it?
Yes, My agent told me that it's an exact copy of the one on the island, and they're going to shoot the scripts here.
After we write it, of course.
I hope we all work quickly. I hate to belabor murder.
Yeah. I once wrote one of my best books, The Golden Mummy Case, in 6 days.
You must have worked non-stop.
Well, I had hives and I couldn't sleep.
I see no reason why we can't pop this thing out in a few days. I imagine they'll want a little something from each of us, so there's something in the story that appeals to everyone.
Some producer's bright idea.
We'll show them we're not through yet.
So, who? I think we're being stood up.
Well, they should arrive soon. It's just Summers and Duckton left.
Say, whatever happened to Rodney Duckton?
That sounds like a movie title. Whatever happened to Rodney Duckton?
No, really, I thought he was dead.
Oh, I'm sure he's not. I checked the obituary pages first thing in the morning. It's a sign of age.
Now, there's someone who changed styles, all right. First those horror movie things, and then he introduced Jack Clubb.
And made a mint, dear. All those hard-hitting detective agents and detective stories. Oh, I suppose he's maybe retired somewhere in the Caribbean?
I hope he has a nicer house than this one.
The real this one, you mean?
She's getting cryptic.
One thing I'll say, though, for Duckton's books, he always had a good shock element in them.
Yeah, it kept the readers awake.
I mean, you never knew when you're just gonna open and through and...
Surprise! I didn't mean to scare you, really. I just wanted to make an entrance and came round this way. Miss Maxwell, this is indeed a pleasure. I was just rereading your case of the black-eyed turtle last week, and I do admire your structure.
I wish someone admired my structure.
Oh, I do, dear.
Thank you, darling.
Oh, Mr. Duckton, after all these years, we finally meet. Whitney Olive, and this is my wife, Jessica.
Oh, I'm a tremendous fan of yours, tremendous.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Miss Maxwell, you seem to know?
Well, I kept that cover story in Time about her. Of course, that was 20 years ago, and she's changed somewhat.
And when did you return from Shangri-La?
I detect a note of bitterness which is not apparent in your writings. Oh, and this is Brad Benedict.
How are you, sir?
A pity.
What is?
You are me. Taller, of course. You took what I wrote, added a few transistors, undressed a few women, and got astoundingly good royalties for a while.
That time was a few years ago.
So, we're all going to work together, eh? I must say, I can hardly wait to trade ideas, plots. When do we start?
As soon as Summers gets here. We've been here so long, the tide is getting low on my martini thermos.
Intriguing room, isn't it?
Dreary, I call it.
Oh, what I could have done with this in my horror days. A sliding panel here, a groping hand there. Oh, and the beautiful girl sitting at the desk. She hears footsteps in the corridor. She turns, she screams, ah! But that doesn't scare anyone anymore. Pity.
Your Jack Clubb would have hit the monster over the head with the butt of his gun.
Ah, another era. Jack Clubb. The Warner Brothers made a good thing out of him. But who and what are current now?
Nothing. That's why we're all here.
What do we do now?
If one more person says that, I shall call it
Good
now and
evening,
go home.
everyone. I am Deborah Summers, the lady who contacted your respected agents. I purposely came a little late to let you all get acquainted. Clever idea, wasn't it? Actually, the vice president in charge of new shows, it was her idea. I can't take all the credit now, can I?
Why not?
They'd find out. Jealousy, you know. Well, shall we get started? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to WMT Studios.
Who's she talking to?
I
It
don't
is
know.
our honor to invite you to join us in a short experimental evening in crime.
She's not talking to us.
Down through the ages, murder and mayhem has fascinated each and every one of us.
Maybe she's psychotic?
So tonight, we have brought together the outstanding mystery writers of their time.
Miss Summers.
It is our idea.
Miss Summers.
Excuse me.
We all
Yes?
want to know one thing.
What?
Who the hell are you talking to?
To the audience
What audience?
out there.
Good Lord, you're right. There are people out there.
Oh my God!
Lots of them.
And I look a fright.
Miss Summers, what is the meaning of this?
Is this some joke?
Didn't your agents tell you there would be an audience?
Certainly not, else I would have wore black tie.
Oh, perhaps it's an oversight on my part. However, there's no harm done, is there? This is just an experiment. More of a game, really.
Murder is hardly a game. We have all made a career out of it.
Please, sit down and let me explain.
Miss Maxwell.
I'm no good in front of audiences. People make me nervous.
I think we should all go home.
No, I'm fascinated. Let's hear her out.
They look like nice people, but there's so many of them.
I'm sorry for the delay, but authors are temperamental too. Just like actors and everybody else connected with the creative arts. Now, what I was saying, look at these 5 people, ladies and gentlemen. What do you see? Genius. That's what you see. 5 brains which have been dedicated to murder.
Don't tempt us.
WMT Studios has brought together at great expense these 5 minds to collaborate and become one to create the greatest mystery series of all time. What we hope will be television's finest hour. Now, let me introduce them to you. Sort of the faces behind the book jackets, as it were.
Does she write her own material?
Jessica and Whitney Olive, authors of over 30 bestsellers, former joint presidents of the Crime Writers League, and the darlings of international society. You may applaud if you wish. Thank you.
I can't tell you how I feel being here.
Oh. Okay.
Mildred Z. Maxwell, specialist in the surprise ending. The woman who has kept us up at night waiting for the final page of her latest mystery.
I am constantly thinking of new ways to kill people.
Brad Benedict, the man who modernized The Spy. His heroes are hard-hitting and perform with no holds barred, whether it's with the enemy or with a beautiful woman.
Thank you.
And finally, Rodney Duckton, the gentleman who terrified us when we were young with such monsters as the creeping fiend and the crawling hand and the ghoulish girl, and who later went on to create the master private eye, the one and only, two-fisted and two-gunned Jack Clubb.
It was nothing really, just an extension of myself. You see,
Would you please sit down?
It is my idea, or rather the idea of WMT Studios,
Watch that or you'll get fired.
to combine these talents, to put a little Maxwell here, a little dose of Duckton there, a splash of Benedict, and a couple of dashes of olives to form a tossed salad of murder.
Oh, block that metaphor.
This stage setting, which you see here, is an exact reproduction of the living room at Vulture's Vault.
Is anything alliterative?
From the time when Buccaneers sailed the Spanish Main, there has been a house on a small island off Jamaica, which has been shrouded with mystery. That house is called Vulture's Vault. That famous pirate Redbeard built it with slave labor, stored his riches there, and died in the very room we have copied for you. During the 20s, Vulture's Vault was used as a storage depot for liquor being run illegally into the United States. Sold in 1931 to Morgan Fisbee, it was the island where the multimillionaire recluse met his unfortunate end. A knife protruding from his back.
Oh, this dialogue is terrible.
Appalling.
Miss Maxwell, I know I'm not the successful author that you are. Your turn will come.
If she doesn't shut up soon, the audience will go home.
Hold on. It can't get much worse.
If there's any reviewers out there, that's a quotable line.
As you can see, we're a very informal gathering here. Tonight, our authors will get acquainted with each other and with each other's working methods, and we'll just have a little fun.
I hate games.
Oh, I fancy myself at a spot of cribbage.
Mr. Ducton.
Sorry.
Immediately following this show, our authors will be flown to the Caribbean, where tomorrow morning they will be taken by boat to Vulture's Vault. There, ladies and gentlemen, they will create stories of suspense, intrigue, and murder. The greatest television series in television history. Let's see, what's in my notes here? The series will be shot here on this very set with leading actors from a bygone era. And WMT will bring back these actors who, along with these authors, you have almost forgotten.
What?
That's it.
That's I loathe honesty in the young.
Authors, please. Must I remind you of the ironclad contracts we have with your agents? And the salaries you are being paid?
Yes, well.
And the fact that for the last 2 years, your collected sales have not equaled not 1 month of the country's leading bestseller, Sex for Profit?
I hope my thermos is not empty.
I could drink hemlock.
Jack Bubwood lost his way out of here.
Should have planted a homing device on her last week.
Now, for our Get Acquainted game. May I have the envelope, please?
This is too much.
Thank you.
Price Waterhouse is everywhere.
In here are 12 slips of paper. And on each slip is a word. And that word is a motive. There are things like lust, greed, money, etc. I think I will ask you, Miss Maxwell, to pick a paper.
I like password better.
Then you can toss the motive around until you come up with a plot. We shall watch your minds mesh into your first collaboration. Isn't this exciting?
Are we allowed to answer?
No.
When do we start work?
Then, with this, and once you get to Vulture's Vault, with all the publicity that we get, the series will be pre-sold.
When do we start work?
The day after you arrive, after an early morning press conference, you will be left completely alone to create.
Wait a minute. Who creates in the kitchen? The only thing I do properly is quiche Lorraine.
Which cheese do you use? Swiss or Gruyere?
Gruyere, of course.
You will have the proper retinue of servants. All you will be responsible for is 13 plots in 3 weeks. Now, Miss Maxwell, draw a motive.
This is deadlier than the draft lottery.
Read it, please.
Murder Deborah Summers.
Goody.
I beg your pardon.
I was just trying for a little humor.
Someone's got to entertain those people.
It says jealousy.
Oh, that's as original as sin.
Perfect. Now, I shall just scoot over here in the corner and let you start plotting.
I can't just sit here and think of a plot. I do always do my best work in the early morning.
I have to slouch in a chair for weeks before I come up with something workable.
If you all would like to go out and have a snack or something, we'll ring a little bell when we come up with a good jealousy plot.
I'm jealous of anyone who isn't here.
Cheers to that.
I have an old plot that I've been kicking around for some time, and I can give it to you and we could toss it around.
Oh, that salad again.
Well, here goes. I hope none of you paid to get in here.
The press gets free passes.
Well, then they've got their money's worth. Well, all I have so far of this plot is the middle and the end. Yes. I do hope you all read my books. They're available in paperback, unless, of course, you like hardcover.
Miss Maxwell, please, no commercials.
All right, dear. Well, here's the plot. We have the usual husband who marries the woman for her money. And the wife is rich, prominent, and a bitch. Am I allowed to say words like that?
Well, censorship is at a new low, but on the show, we would just call her a bad woman.
All right, then. The wife is a bad woman. She is tired of her husband and is about to divorce him, leaving him with nothing. And naturally, this being a murder plot, he is going to kill her.
Oh, really?
Okay, this is more usual so far, but Mildred Z. Maxwell always has a surprise up her typewriter. The husband, oh dear, I can't seem to tell stories well. I wish you could see the characters as I do.
Oh, but you can, Miss Maxwell. Just use your imagination. Describe them, and we shall see them.
I'll try then. The husband is finishing plotting out his ingenious murder. He has contacted a third cousin or an old ne'er-do-well classmate and is paying him to be an accomplice. Now this scene is between the two men. The husband, we'll call him George. He is good-looking in a way, dressed in a nice suit. That's it. That's exactly what he should look like. Isn't imagination wonderful?
But his suit, it's horrible. The cut is all...
It's our story.
Sorry.
He's nice looking. Oh, I forgot. He has broken his arm. That is the most important plot point. Now, as for the ne'er-do-well, he's of course ne'er-do-well looking. That's it. Perfect. The husband is just finishing plotting out his intricate, intriguing murder, and he says,
And that's all you have to do. Here's your plane ticket to Chicago made out in my name.
And you're sure nothing can go wrong?
I've worked out even the smallest detail.
I haven't yet, but I shall.
You shall wear a cast and a sling, making you instantly identifiable. Board the 11 o'clock flight, slouch down in your chair, pretend to sleep the whole way. No one will pay attention to what you look like, just that you have the broken arm. Tomorrow there'll be 80 some odd passengers who will swear I was on flight 752 at the time of the murder.
Let us hope so.
It's foolproof. At 11:30, when you're somewhere between New York and Chicago, I shall get rid of Martha, and there's nothing the authorities will be able to prove. Yes, I have the best motive, but apparently I was 30,000 feet above the ground at the time it happened. A perfect alibi. I'll board the 12:30 flight to Chicago under an assumed name and be there when they discover Martha's body. I'll be properly shot, attend the funeral as a dutiful husband should, and inherit the estate, oh, so reluctantly. And there's nothing Roger will be able to prove.
Roger is the new man?
Oh, yes. Martha always has a new man, ready, willing, and younger.
And you're sure they can't connect me with you in any way?
How could they? As far as anyone knows, we haven't seen each other in 15 years.
Then there's only one thing you've overlooked.
And that is?
The money.
It's all here.
I'll be thinking of you at 11:30 tonight.
And I'll be thinking of the future.
Now, I've also worked out the climax of this at 11:30 that evening. Martha, the wife, is at home. She is dressed in a negligee, as they always seem to be. And she is lovely, but a trifle hard-looking. Very good. That's Martha. She'll be talking to this Roger.
Yes, Roger, darling.
Oh, wait. Some more atmosphere. A radio, some soft music in counterpoint with the scene we all know is about to happen. Can I have a radio, please?
Anything you wish. Radio?
What service? Thank you.
You're welcome.
It needs to be playing music.
Hey, Charlie, music.
Martha is on the phone.
He's gone. Yes, a quick divorce and then we can be together. Oh, he's leaving on the 11 o'clock flight from Newark Airport. Oh, the poor thing won't be able to manage all that luggage with that broken arm. He'll have to tip the skycap, and that will absolutely hurt him. What? Oh, Mexico, I think. Yes, divorce is overnight. Yeah. Oh, darling, I would never think of going alone. First thing in the morning. What about lunch at 1? Good. Then pick me up here. All right, then. Oh, I am too. Oh, is someone there? Hello? Who is it? Hello?
Hello, Martha.
Oh, what are you doing here? Did you get drunk and miss your plane?
Not at all. I've never been more sober in my life.
I don't believe I've ever seen you sober.
Well, take a look.
Well, you are sober. Is that because you have to buy your own scotch now? Oh, well, go on. You can leave now. I've had my last look at you.
Oh, how right you are.
And just what do you mean by that?
I'm going to kill you.
Oh, don't be ridiculous.
I'm serious, Martha. Do you think I'd give up the job of being your husband without a retirement plan?
You didn't retire. You were fired. Oh, so go on. Get out. Go get on another plane.
But you see, Martha, I'm already on one. There's someone flying over the country right now dressed like me with a broken arm. There are dozens of witnesses who will say, I'm not here at all, but there. It's all beautifully thought out.
You're bluffing. You can't scare me. Now, go on, get out of here, or I shall call the police.
You won't have time.
I know you too well. You might think of something like this, but you would never have the guts enough to pull it off.
You're wrong, Martha. Bang! Bang! Bang!
We interrupt this program for our news bulletin. Amalgamated Airlines Flight 752 from Newark to Chicago has crashed outside of Cleveland, Ohio. There are no survivors.
Surprise ending! I'm famous for them! Shock it to them with the last line. Do I get any applause for that? Oh, I should hope so. Well, there are still more details to be worked out, but you have your jealousy. George is jealous of Roger and the money, which is rightfully George's. What do you think?
Well, I think it's nice, but
But what?
well, there's no one you really care about.
I never really cared about anyone in your books.
Now, let's not get testy. I always had a sympathetic ingenue in there somewhere.
Suppose there were nicer people. Say we met them at a cocktail party over some amusing chit-chat.
But Mildred doesn't write like that, Jess.
Well, why not? We're collaborating, aren't we?
Why don't we update it? If Georgia were with the CIA and knew that Roger was a spy for some foreign power, then he could plant a homing device under Roger's lapel and overhear them making love. Be a rather sexy scene. Audiences like that sort of thing.
Sex should be kept in the bedroom, not flaunted on the television screen in the living room.
Why don't we make it a real good horror story? Well, they used to play well, and maybe it's time for a comeback. Now, if this were one of those silent films I used to write, Mildred, I'll show you.
Monsters are out. They really are.
But my climactic scenes are classics. They don't make them like that anymore. Remember Frankenstein and Dracula? Well, I was way ahead of those boys. Lon Chaney and the Silence. That's when we had true terror. There was always a mad scientist, and he was always jealous because the ingenue loved another. Now the ingenue is this beautiful young woman. Magnificent. Yes. Now the mad scientist is there to plead once more for her hand in marriage. If refused, he will call in the monster he created to kill her. Note that the ingenue doesn't see the monster until the last possible moment. Suspense. Now, as for the scientist, well, I must admit, I don't think I could conjure up as good a mad scientist as I myself would make.
Oh, Whit and I do that. We're always acting things out.
I fancy myself a John Gielgud type.
Really, I never noticed.
Please! Now, of course, you must realize I always think of these plots in terms of silent films and those wonderful cue cards. The dialogue was so unimportant. Music provided the atmosphere. Music! Ready? Action! They don't make them that way anymore.
They certainly don't.
Are you laughing or joking?
It's funny.
Just show some respect.
What you're just showing is what we call camp.
Camp?
You see what you did there, don't you, Mr. Duckton?
Evidently not.
You've just done a parody of your own work. To have the audience frightened of that, you have to have the audience of the era. You're not all that old, are you?
They have changed, haven't they?
That's the trouble. You changed too when you gave up horror movies and introduced Jack Club. You started up the hard-hitting era of detectives, and that would be a parody now too.
Do you really think so?
I do. Let me show you.
I don't think I want you to.
But I would enjoy it so much. I've been waiting to get into the act. But now, you come over here, and Jess and I will show you how your Jack Club would look like today.
Oh, goody! I'm a marvelous actress.
Oh, yes.
Do you really think this will accomplish anything?
Oh, give them a chance.
Can we do it alone, Wit?
We'll have to conjure up a few figments like the others. Now, I'll be Jack Club. You be the usual girl.
Ladies and gentlemen, I feel I must apologize.
What for?
This is not what we had planned on. This is more of a happening than a mystery seminar. You haven't even begun to collaborate yet.
Sit down. You got us here, so let us do our thing.
This isn't what I had in mind.
Now, Jack Club's stories always started out with narration hitting up the hard-hitting scene, as it were. It was a cold morning, and the city was cold steel, like every heart in it. There was trouble last night. Violence was my friend. My name is Jack Club. I started off the day with my usual day cap. Then suddenly, I felt a tight knot in my gut. That was a sign this wasn't going to be an ordinary day. I waited. Then she came in. Then she came in.
Oh, sorry, darling. Once more.
Then she came in. She was bad, all bad. Her lips formed a wicked smile. She was curvy like some Venus de Milo, but with arms. Arms that had held men, many men. I got up. She came at me like a bulldozer clearing a garbage dump. Her eyes searched me like a Geiger counter. Then she spoke.
I'm in trouble. Big trouble.
My name is Trouble.
Kiss me. Kiss me hard.
You're bad, baby. All bad.
My husband is dead.
I'm falling for you, baby. Falling fast.
They think I shot him.
Did you?
What do you think?
I think you're bad. All bad.
It was his sister Stephanie. She shot him because he threatened to leave his money to me. Kiss me quick.
I've got it bad, baby.
You're tough, Jack Club. All tough.
Where's this broad Stephanie?
Stephanie Mildower. That's me.
She's rotten. Oh, rotten.
But innocent. So innocent.
That woman killed my brother.
It was you. All you.
Believe me. Please believe me.
I do, baby.
What about us? Our love, our desires.
It's no good, baby. It's all over.
What was my mistake?
Putting your hand on my cheek. It's there, all there.
What is?
Powder burns from the gun you used to shoot your husband.
I'm sorry it had to end like this.
Oh, don't shoot
Bang!
me. Oh.
She's dead, all dead.
Forget about her, Jack Club. It can be you and me now.
It's no good, baby. The memory of Stephanie Mildauer will always haunt us. Give me that!
No!
Yes! Bang!
I underestimated you, Jack Club. You're hard. All hard.
Poor Stephanie. She was good. All good.
Jack, I love you. Let me go. With a kiss.
It was just another ordinary day. I had found two loves and lost two loves. The sun set. The city was cold steel, like every heart in it. My name is Jack Club.
That was excellent. Exactly right. You see, Mr. Ducton, everything we've ever done is now a parody. We are all anachronisms.
Perhaps. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Olive. Your performances were quite something.
I don't know quite how to take that.
Just take it and be quiet.
I disagree, however. My style of writing is still current. I mean, nothing has come along to replace it yet.
Oh, we can take that off too. Come on, Whit, let's show him. I'm just getting warmed up.
No, this is for me. I'll show Mr. Benedict what his mystery tales are like if he wants.
I don't think I do want.
But it's my turn to twist the knife, as it were. All right, why don't we take one of Mr. Benedict's famous CIA men? We'll take one of your endings. Benedict, you act it out. Over here.
How will I know what to say?
That's my version of your story. You'll say what I'm thinking.
Okay, here goes.
We find our hero about to stop the takeover of all Allied information by Chaotic. Those are the bad men. The organization has initials that spell out a name. You've noticed that, haven't you? Mr. Benedict's hero has been looking for the super spy. And super spies always have catchy names too. We'll call this one Silverleg. Throughout our story, our hero has been having various affairs with various women in various unusual places, such as Turkish baths, cemeteries, the subway, but only the express line. We find him now at a beach house with his beautiful secretary.
There's something about you, 276-390-845. Something different.
My pajamas are custom made.
I've enjoyed this assignment, working for you all day and all night too.
And now the assignment has come to an end.
No, 276-390-845. I'm like contact paper. I'm going to stick around.
But I found out who Silverleg is.
You couldn't have.
Yes, I could. I planted one of these. It's a homing device, and I found out everything. It's a miniature broadcasting station, and I've been listening in.
No!
Yes. I planted it on you and heard you reporting to agents from Chaotic. I'm sorry, Beauty, but I gotta turn you in.
No, not yet.
Yes, now. Business before pleasure.
Wait, there's just one thing I've got to know.
Which is?
Where did you plant the homing device?
There you are, Mr. Benedict.
Is that how my books seem?
Your detectives are just as ridiculous as mine if you present them that way.
Go on, Mr. Duckton. Please, don't stop.
But that's the end.
But where was the homing device planted?
I haven't the faintest idea. I don't write that kind of story.
Spoil sport?
We seem to have lost our purpose somewhere along the way. If we continue to jab at one another, we will never collaborate.
What we all need is a drink.
You've run out of your allotted times, the unions, you know. The limousine will be here in 20 minutes to take you to the airport.
This seems all rather stupid, don't you think? We're supposed to fly down there, stay the night in some dreary little hotel, clamber into some leaky boat in the afternoon, and travel off to an island where the house will look exactly like this set. Why don't we just stay here?
Exteriors. Although most of the action that you write each week will take place in this room, we still need outside shots. And then the press. They will come on Friday and they will take shots of you in the actual house. Publicity will sell the series, not the scripts. Oh, I can't believe I said that.
But you did say that.
Well, I suggest that we just stop this right now and disband and wait for the limousines to come.
Frankly, I don't see we're going to get any further than we have here.
I agree.
We will if we stop making fun of our styles. We each have something individual to contribute, and let's concentrate on that.
You make a good point, young man. Let's go have that drink together.
I think I saw a festive-looking lounge across the street.
We'll meet you in the limousine, Miss Summers.
In 20 minutes, I'm gonna fly down to Vulture's Vault with you and go out there tonight to make preparations. We wouldn't think of making you take the lunch tonight.
Thank goodness. I get seasick enough in the daytime.
Wait a minute. Say thank you
For what, darling?
for coming.
Oh, we didn't invite them, but thank you anyway.
Cheers.
They've been awfully quiet. I should think they would have been bored to death.
Perhaps they are.
I just felt embarrassed.
The next scene will take place at Vulture's Vault, which I'm sure you'll find more entertaining. It's got to be. I'd like to apologize for WMT Studios, but at least you got a chance to see how these series start. Oh. Well, I don't know what else to say. Perhaps we should call for the curtain? Oh, no, I hope the stage manager hasn't left yet. Curtain! Thank goodness.
I was calling you, Jane.
I heard you, that's why I'm here.
I saw the launch on the horizon. It will be here in 3 minutes.
Oh dear.
What's bothering you?
The dinner, the recipe Miss Summers gave me is rather fussy.
I'm sure it will be as delightful as you are, my dear.
Thank you. But I'm not used to using a gas stove. All the families on the mainland have electric.
I have confidence in you, Jane, as does Miss Summers.
But how do you know what she does if you never saw her till last night?
I have ways of knowing.
If you ask me, Miss Summers is going to have a nervous breakdown before this is over.
I know. I heard her pacing the floor of her bedroom all night.
When I went in there this morning, her bed hadn't been slept in.
Have you seen her today?
I haven't laid eyes on her. She said she never eats breakfast, but she didn't take lunch either. Not as much as a cup of coffee. Makes me nervous.
Peculiar. Most peculiar. Perhaps she has gone to the dock to wait for the launch. You had better go and check.
Oh, I got dinner to look after.
There will undoubtedly be a long cocktail hour first. Go to the dock.
But my roast is in.
To the dock.
I don't like going down that steep path.
You're perfectly safe. It's daylight now.
But I wouldn't go down there at night. The dark makes me nervous. I've always been scared of it.
Jane, the launch will be landing. Go.
Yes, sir.
You're not supposed to be here now. The authors will be arriving to fulfill their commitment. Only they don't know what they've committed themselves to. It is for them to find out alone. You are to go now. Good. We're alone.
I must say, the outside looks like forest lawn.
Oh, I hope it has a bar. Are you all right, Mildred?
I am still queasy from that boat trip.
That's something I've never been bothered with. A weak stomach.
Well, bully for you.
In my books, they would have flown us over here in a helicopter.
Miss Summers was right. This place looks exactly the same.
Exactly.
It is intriguing what set designers can do, isn't it?
These are all real, no canvas.
I think I can create here. I feel it in my bones. This just calls for a corpse to be just sprawled on it.
I go for Danish modern myself. This feels like early Salvation Army.
It is a commanding view, all right. I like this place. I think I belong here.
I wouldn't brag. Look, Whit. Aunt Jenny sent us one of these as a wedding present.
Ooh.
Who would have thought there were two?
Ugh. I'm worried about that reception we got. That maid met us and then scampered off to the back door. Where is everybody?
You must be Gregory.
That is correct.
Summers told us you'd be here. I am Brad.
I know who you are. I know who you all are.
And we know who you are. So we're even.
What are your wishes?
Is it cocktail time?
If you wish it to be, sir,
I wish it to be desperately.
then I shall prepare. You will pardon me.
That's a creepy one, isn't it?
Oh, the odd servant. Standard of my earlier works. Oh, I do hope he's Middle European, so beautifully nebulous.
Are we going to work with that looking down on us?
I believe that's a rather excellent painting.
Oh, you can tell by scratching it with your fingernail.
Oh no, Miss Summers wouldn't approve.
It's very barren here. I always thought the tropics were lush with vegetation and palm trees.
You didn't write rain, did you?
That's Somerset Mom.
There's nothing in here but typing paper.
What did you expect? A will to be read at midnight?
Well, I thought that Miss Summers would have left a note or something.
It's strange she didn't meet us at the dock.
If she's changing into formal wear, I am going to spit.
He's got to be around here somewhere.
But where?
Ah, here!
Summers!
Yeah.
What's the matter with her?
Catch her!
She's falling!
She's ill.
Is she?
Dead.
A knife in her back.
It can't be suicide.
Darling. Look! A real murder!
What shall we do?
And out of a closet, too. Oh, this is too perfect to be believed.
But who is it?
Oh dear.
What's wrong?
Is that what a real dead body looks like?
Evidently.
Well, one thing is certain.
What's that?
We have the beginnings of our plot. Now all we have to do is solve it.
Excuse me, please, but I do believe I'm going to faint.
Oh.
drink some more, Rodney, please. It's a stimulant.
I know that. I've written these scenes too, you know.
Have we come into focus yet?
I can see you all quite clearly now.
Well, that's a good sign.
I've never fainted before.
Have some more.
What did it feel like, Rodney? See, I always write it as if the hero sees the room going round and round, and then they go down a dark tunnel.
Well, you're wrong. I felt sick and woke up on the sofa.
Oh, disappointing indeed.
5-star. Another brandy, Gregory.
Yes, madame.
Now, sit up, Rodney.
Shall we try sitting up now?
You're like every other nurse. I am a me, not a we. You are not sick, and yes, I shall try sitting up now.
You're only cranky because you're embarrassed.
Where's Whitney and that Benedict fellow?
They took poor Miss Summers upstairs. There's a lovely view of the ocean from the East Room.
Are there twin beds, dear?
You're not going to move in, are you?
There's bound to be another, you know.
Another murder?
Did you ever write a book with one corpse?
Good Lord, you're right. There's always at least one in the beginning to get the reader's attention, and then another towards the end.
Quickly, Gregory.
Yes, madame.
Just in time, darling.
Get up, let's come. You can't sit there all evening. We have work to do.
I'm all right now. Sorry about that. I do apologize, but you know, seeing that knife sticking out of Summer's back, it was just...
Rot! You've used knives dozens of times.
It is one thing to write about a knife sticking out of the back and the blood dripping down her back, but when you actually see it... Oh, here I go again.
Easy on Rodney. Think of something pleasant.
Think of the money you're making.
Oh, I'm thinking.
Oh, brandy. There's bound to be brandy. There's always brandy.
5-star, darling. Gregory?
Yes, madame.
She's lying there very peacefully. She looks exactly as... Oh, for God's sake.
What?
I was going to say she looks exactly as if she were asleep. I stopped writing lines like that at NYU.
I say, carrying her upstairs right now was very interesting.
I couldn't be more pleased.
Seriously, I always write characters lifting up bodies as if they were toothpicks. But I tell you, she was damn heavy.
Perhaps you're not very strong.
I tell you, she was a dead weight.
This is no time for levity. Drink that.
She's really dead, isn't she?
If you carried her upstairs instead of fainting, you knew she was.
Oh, I'm sorry I was unable to help.
Oh, forget it. I'm younger than you are.
I don't think it's necessary to point that out.
Did you take the knife out of her?
Yes. Oh.
No, I'm going to remember it. It's like taking a knife out of a wedge of cheese.
Camembert or Roquefort?
More like camembert, I think. It sort of slid out.
This is going to be something.
It is something already.
I mean, think of our next books. I can't wait for the reviewers to notice we all use the same knife. The killer slipped the knife out of this back like it came from a wedge of camembert cheese.
Oh. Excuse me, but what shall I do about the dinner?
Oh, what did you have in mind?
Serve it? Or freeze it?
You're not in the frame of mind to eat right now, are you?
No!
Isn't anyone gonna do anything?
There's no need to be shrill.
Do anything about what, dear?
Miss Summers!
She's in the East Room overlooking the ocean.
But she's dead!
We know that.
Murdered! Are you all going to just sit there?
Jane, you must control yourself.
Very good, Gregory. When the maid is in hysterics, someone should always say, "You must control yourself." Do you write?
No, Miss Maxwell.
I'm sorry, but you're all sitting there and doing nothing. Shouldn't someone call the police?
Impossible, isn't it?
Out of the question.
But why? What's out of the question about calling the police? Isn't that what they're there for?
You're very naive, aren't you? Jane, isn't it?
Yes, but why can't we call the police?
We can't call them.
Why not?
Well, naturally, the phone is dead.
You tried it?
We don't have to, dear.
What do you mean?
Perfect line. What do you mean? They always say that.
You amaze me, Wit. You're so perceptive.
Pardon me, but how do you know the phone is dead?
Shall we explain it to her?
Yes. It's very simple. They brought us here together. We, the greatest mystery writers of all time. We entered the room and a body fell out of the closet. Do you really expect us to go over there and call the police on the mainland? That's nonsense. The phone is dead. It has to be.
But this isn't a story. This is real.
We're aware of that. But we're also quite aware that the phone is as dead as a doornail.
I don't believe you. You're all crazy. I'll do it.
I cherish naivete. It's so rare.
You lost yours long ago.
Wouldn't you love to know who Wit?
Hello? The phone is dead.
Okay. Now that we've wasted 10 lines of dialogue, can we get on with it? Any suggestions?
I don't suppose any of you has a pencil radio.
I don't even have a pencil.
In my books, we would have taken out the pencil, raised the antenna, and talked with the CIA or somebody.
Perhaps that's why your books aren't selling so much anymore.
Well, they did a hell of a lot better than yours did last year.
Oh, have you
Please, we mustn't bicker. We have the utmost respect for one another, remember?
Yes, of course, Miss Maxwell. I apologize. I've always bowed to you and your plot lines.
Thank you, dear. And I've always thought that your little devices were marvels.
Oh, thank you.
Fantasies, but marvels.
They do have pencil radios, you know.
And now that we've ascertained that no one has a pencil radio, or a ray gun, or a laser beam, and that Mr. Benedict won't self-destruct in 5 seconds, what do we do now?
Drink?
Marvelous idea.
You two do stay in character.
We try to.
Well, then I suggest we have some food before you get blotto.
That sounds a trifle vulgar.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. Jane? Jane? Perhaps you can go in there and make us some sandwiches. I am sure there's something you can slap in between 2 pieces of bread. Just to tide us over.
Yes, Miss Maxwell.
I hope she's not going to try slapping the caviar. It sounds mushy.
This kitchen is definitely salami.
I don't suppose they have any cottage cheese.
Your Jack Club would eat a raw steak after he took it off his eye.
How about those cocktails?
I shall prepare some cocktails if you wish.
Gregory, do all butlers eavesdrop?
Only in your books, madame.
Touche.
Martinis?
Oh, perfect. There's a bottle of Bombay gin with my leather case upstairs with the luggage.
I have already brought in all the bags, and have taken the liberty of placing the Bombay gin in the pantry. We only have Gilbey's.
Oh, Gregory, you are a true gentleman's gentleman.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So,
Now that we've got that put together.
now that we've got that to put together, what do we do next?
Somebody has to take charge. Somebody must ask questions and discover clues and things.
Correct.
But which one of us?
Well, Whit and I are a team, so we're out.
Why not you, Rodney? We'll take it in order of seniority.
I wish you'd quit hopping on age.
I was referring to experience.
Oh, because I do believe Miss Maxwell is somewhat older.
What was that, dear?
Well, according to the mystery writers who's who, you predate me by 3 months.
And that is because I lied about my age when my first book came out. I wanted the editors to think that I was mature, so I told them that I was 20 when I was 18.
Then it's settled. Rodney, you have the floor.
That sounds so stupid. You have the floor. What's he gonna do with it? Polish it?
Mrs. Olive, there is a time and a place for your celebrated wit, but this is neither the time nor the place. If I am to be in charge, I must have a moment to think.
Well, plunge on ahead. That's my motto. If you sit through half the day at your typewriter staring out the window, you get nothing written. I draw the blinds.
Please. I will assess all that has happened and then start asking questions. Now, obviously, none of us did it. Therefore, it's either Gregory or Jane. She's too naive to be true, and it's definitely the odd servant. Odd servants are often murderers. Now, I fancy myself as somewhat of a genius as a mystery writer. I never fool myself. That is, it's a fact. I am a genius. And I created Jack Clubb. Now, if I would just act as he would act, then everything would be solved promptly. He would know there's something rotten about those 2 servants. It's too hard to get domestics these days to have 2 just sitting around on this island. The thing to do is to eavesdrop and find out what they know. If only I can get them alone. Oh, good. I got rid of the others. Now to get the odd servant and the naive maid in here. Here they come. I'll just slip in behind here. Remember, Rodney, you're tough. Like a Jack Clubb. Yes, tough. Tough as nails. Oh, dear. Oh.
Good, they took a powder.
How much time we got?
I can signal now.
You're a genius, Gregory.
I am the boss.
Was it tough rubbing out Summers?
Nah, just like sticking a knife in a wedge of camembert cheese.
Ooh, you gonna give it to the others?
If they get in the way, we'll sink them in the ocean in a pair of cement galoshes.
Let's do it anyway, just for practice.
Let's get the ice first. We can have fun afterwards.
500 clams and uncut diamonds, emeralds, and rubies. Just sitting out there in a dinghy.
Biggest heist in history. And they said the crown jewels couldn't be stolen. They reckon without the boss.
Yeah, but you blew it.
What do you mean by that?
Ow, you're hurting me.
You only hurt the one you love.
You're racist with me.
So how'd I blow it?
Them writing people coming here. You didn't figure on that.
No sweat. Summers came first and got the camembert cheese treatment. Now I'll get in the tower and signal for the boat will come in and deliver the diamonds and copters due in at midnight, and then we'll be off any ways you like. Rio, Capri, Detroit.
Oh, this is it. One big heist and then easy street.
30 minutes and they'll be in my midst. The jewel.
I love the way you say that word. Jewels.
Hang on, baby. And remember, you're mine. All mine.
The jewels. That dumb cluck. Little does he know, once he gets them, it's Quaintance for the boss. That's right, Quaintance.
Hiya, baby.
Who are you?
They call me Jack Club.
Damn. Jack Club the Private Eye?
You tagged it, baby.
Oh, there ain't a hood in the underworld whose chin you ain't scarred. Not a hood's dame whose lips you ain't blistered.
So they tell me.
How'd you get here?
Swam.
You're tough, Jack Club. All tough.
So they tell me. So let's level. The jewels is getting here in 30 minutes.
Yoid.
I clean my ears with the barrel of my 22.
What are you gonna do?
Them jewels go back to the Queen of Alanya. And you, baby?
Yeah?
You're coming with me. Get ready to get blistered. Hope you have unguent in your lipstick.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
Kissing you hard.
Just lay off.
You didn't like it?
You're a dirty old man.
Come on, baby.
Just as soon be kissed by a dried sponge.
That's not what you're supposed to say. Oh, this is going all wrong.
The boss and I get the jewels. You get a shiv in the back. Same as Deborah Summers.
So you lured her to her death, eh? And I can see it now. She takes a step toward you. She puckers up. And then Gregory knifes her.
Smart, ain't ya? I can't resist ya.
Too smart to fall for that line, baby.
But you wouldn't give me a kiss even if I begged ya?
Not after that line about the sponge.
Oh, I was only fooling. Come on, I like antiques.
Well, since you can't resist it, how about one little smacker to have something to remember and stir? Ow! That hurt!
It's supposed to.
This really hurts. Ow! Ow!
Why doesn't he fall down?
He's got a head like a pair of cement galoshes.
I never thought it would feel like this. I have my heroes hit on the head, and they shake it off and get into a fist fight. But this just hurts. Oh.
What's going on here? Who's yelling like that?
And in truth, Mrs. Olive, I'm afraid I had to resort to violence.
Who are you?
Jessica, please.
My God, it's Jack Club. Thank goodness I have unguentine in my lipstick.
He's the murderer. There, Gregory, and she's his accomplice. And my head hurts.
The servants? No, Mr. Club. The servants never do it anymore. That's passé.
Okay, you'll see. I'll prove it to you. Get over there. Come on. All right, Jane. This is the showdown. It's either him and the jewels, or me, Jack Club, without the jewels. No woman can resist me. I'm tough. All tough.
Okay, baby, what do you say?
She has no choice, buddy.
Give me that. Here's my answer, old man. Bang!
I'm shot. I'm actually shot. It hurts. Oh! I never thought it would be like this. I always say hot lead ripped through his shoulder, but this is worse. It just plain hurts. How can I expect my characters to carry on after something like this? They have to go to hospital for weeks and get on workman's compensation. I never thought it would be this way, but it must be. I always thought of myself as a realistic author, but this head hitting and getting shot twice in a book, it's no easy matter at all. No, I'm definitely not for reality. There's only one thing to do now that I'm confronted with a real murder, and that's to shut up.
How long do we have to wait for you to assess all that has happened?
I've come to a conclusion that I have nothing at all to say except the butler did it.
The butler?
Gregory? That's much too obvious, old man.
Don't call me old man.
It wasn't about your age. It was a term of endearment. Don't be so sensitive.
Mark my words. The butler did it.
Cocktails are ready.
Thank you, Gregory. It seems the only thing he did was to make drinks.
I wouldn't drink one of those.
I would, and I will.
It better have him take a swallow first.
Nonsense! You have a Roman emperor complex.
Well, maybe Rodney does have a point.
Gregory, would you mind?
I don't normally drink on duty, but since you have requested it.
Not too dry?
Perfection, sir.
Thank you, Gregory. I shall serve them.
Thank you, sir.
Are you satisfied now, Rodney?
Maybe it's a slow-acting poison. Better wait a minute.
Well, we'd hear a gurgling gasp, wouldn't we?
Gurgling gasp. Alliteration. I like that.
I wonder what a gurgling gasp sounds like.
Exactly like that, I would imagine.
Oh. Does anyone want to go take a look?
I'm not budging from this spot. They don't react well to dead bodies.
Wait, why don't you go and see if Gregory's tossed off the mortal coil?
I can't. I'd spill all these drinks.
Then it's up to me. I have a strong stomach.
If the butler's tossed off, it sort of knocks your theory into a cocked hat, doesn't it, Rodney?
Well, maybe he drank the martini knowing it was poisoned, but realizing he was caught.
Twaddle.
I loathe bad language.
I hope Brad gets back soon. I'm dying for one of these. If not if they're lethal.
Have you no compassion? First Summers, now Gregory dead?
He's dead, all right.
Well, now things are bustling. 2 down and 5 to go.
The poor guy looks terrible, all twisted up like a pretzel.
Whenever I have someone poisoned, I say he grasps his throat and falls over dead.
It must have been agonizing. Want to have a look?
Oh.
Better not. We're getting low on brandy.
Jess, smell the one that he drank out of.
If the killer did anything well, it would have been odorless. I mean, that's what I would use.
Now,
That's worse than moonshine.
now smell the others.
What will that prove?
Whether just one was poisoned or all of them.
They smell all right.
Oh, good. Then we could drink one.
You really have no compassion.
That's the past, old man. I'm thinking of the future, and I see a drink in mine.
Cheers. But if only one of the drinks was poisoned, then the killer didn't care which one of us got it. That means it didn't matter which one of us drank it.
It couldn't be one of us. We were here all the time.
We're all suspect. Have we been keeping a close eye on each other?
Of course, darling.
Wrong. When Brad and I carried poor Summers upstairs, we washed up, separately of course. You rushed out when Rodney passed for the brandy. Mildred was in the ladies when Rodney was deciding about the questioning. And there we are.
Obviously, I am exonerated.
Wrong. You were hovering over the tray. You could have put something in it.
Well, for that matter, so could have you.
Well, now that you say it, you're right.
Well, then any one of us could have either slipped something in the drink or perhaps the glass before the drink was mixed.
Isn't it marvelous? We're all still in the running.
Did you expect anything else? It is too soon to learn the guilty party.
What about the maid?
Jane, shouldn't someone tell her?
She'll find out soon enough.
How?
Like that, I suppose. She was bound to stumble over him sooner or later.
Help! Help! Something horrible
Has happened.
trite line, dear.
We all know Gregory's dead.
He's just lying out there in the pantry.
Oh, there. You're properly hysterical, good girl. How about I make you a nice cup of tea?
First Miss Summers and now Gregory.
No need to sum up, dear. We can add. You go on without me. I'll be right back. Now, lift your feet up higher, Miss dear. You've tumbled over him once already. Giant step.
Mildred's quite calm about this, isn't she?
Now, don't start pitting us against one another. Those are the most boring scenes.
Then if there's someone else on this island, we ought to set out and find him.
Or her. Always say him or her. Never rule out half the field unless you're certain.
Let's search the island.
Useless.
Why?
It always is. If you'd paid any attention to the earlier genre of mysteries, like Mildred's and mine, you'd know that we're alone here.
But hadn't we better make sure?
I suppose he's right.
We'll all go off in different directions and scour the place.
It won't take long.
I'll go this way, Whitney you that way, Rodney towards the north, and just take the upstairs.
Oh, good. I didn't want to scrape my heels on the rocks. These are I. Miller's shoes.
Ready, go.
Stop! Where are you off to?
This fellow thinks that we should search the island.
Waste of time, naturally. We're all alone here.
I know that. The Olives know that. You know that. But he doesn't know it.
Then we'll prove it to him. Where do I go?
You take the wine cellar.
I'll trade with you.
I'm giving out the assignments. Ready and go.
Which way is north again?
That way.
I wish they'd move his body.
Gotcha.
Whitney Olive, don't you ever do that to me again.
I knew you'd come back here just like a homing pigeon.
What about you?
I hate solitary alcoholics.
All this searching business is ridiculous, but we have to humor the less traditional writers.
Oh, that's a really well mixed martini. Too bad he died.
Whit, I feel so guilty.
Look, you didn't do it, did you?
Of course not, darling. But we're up to our necks in 2 murders, and I don't feel as nervous as I should.
It's because we're used to it.
But only in an imaginary sort of way.
This all doesn't seem real, does it?
What if we try to solve it ourselves so we can get back to writing? We're never going to make our deadline with bodies lying about the corridor and not knowing who did it.
Do you suppose we can solve it?
Of course, darling. We've solved every murder we've ever been involved with.
But we always knew who the murderer was before the crime was committed. We're not working backwards this time.
It might be kind of fun to take it from the top. Now, it couldn't be any of us because a mystery writer committing murder would be dirty pool, wouldn't it?
Oh, dishonorable discharge from the Screenwriters Guild.
Then it must be Jane.
She's much too cliche.
Do you remember the case of the 2-legged secretary?
Intimately.
It was your idea to make the nice girl the murderer, and then it sold out 2 weeks after publication.
You're right.
I usually am.
You're conceited, too.
Now, if we were writing it, and if it was this Jane, what would we do?
Have her committing a second murder?
No. We would have her make some idiotic slip-up. And then we'd have the beautiful and brilliant wife, the character we created after me, say something like, "Aha! You slipped up that time."
I'd rewrite that line, but go on.
All we have to do is get Jane to make a stupid mistake.
But how?
You're half this writing team. Give me some help.
I'm trying.
Here she comes. Let's act nonchalant.
Oh, you look I wish I could be that calm, but every time I come out of the pantry, I have to step over Gregory.
You're working under a terrible handicap. But I must say, the sandwiches look delicious.
Salami?
Salami.
Where's everyone else?
Searching the island.
Oh, they will not find anyone on Vulture's vault. Gregory and I have been here 2 days. We never saw a sign of a soul.
You were here alone?
Together?
Yes.
Were you lovers?
Oh, of course not. What a thing to say.
You're letting your imagination run away with you.
Well, we always have a bit of sex in our books, don't we?
How well did you know Gregory?
Oh, we never met until we got on the launch to come here. You see, I've been out of a job because I've been ill. Up until last January, I worked for Mrs. Plato Underdonk.
We've never met her.
No, a truly kind woman. She paid for all my hospital bills.
Did she take you back and forth between her houses in Newport and New York?
Oh, yes, indeed.
And on her yacht?
Oh, yes, indeed.
Aha! You slipped up that time.
Oh, no.
I said I was going to rewrite that line.
Don't you see, Whit?
See what?
Mrs. Plato Underdonk doesn't own a yacht. She gets seasick in her bathtub. That was your mistake, Jane. You've revealed your true self.
Oh, all right, I did it. I killed them both.
You did it, darling. You're a marvel.
Thank you, darling.
What's the matter with her?
Oh, we stopped imagining we're writing the story, so she stopped too.
Is she gonna stay like that?
I don't know. Story's over. Close the book.
But if she really did commit those 2 murders, that's not how the story would go.
Probably not.
Jess!
Wait, what the hell with it?
Jess, she would do something desperate, wouldn't she?
Yeah, damn right she would.
I don't like this at all.
You stupid fools. Of course I'll do something desperate. I'll kill the 2 of you.
You can't kill the Arthurs. That's shooting the hand that types you.
I agree with her wholeheartedly.
You first, Mr. Olive. If you have anything to say it fast.
Can I have another martini?
Here it comes.
Stop it! Stop it, both of you. I'm writing half this story and I say stop it. There. That's better. Whit, come over here. What went wrong?
Oh, we finished the story, but we had a few extra pages?
Do you think that would happen in all of our books if they were real?
Possibly.
I have decided. I definitely don't like or take delight in real murder at all.
Oh, no. How about we go back to our martinis and shut up?
Good idea. We were right about one thing, though.
I'd like to know what.
The murderer must be Jane. It couldn't be anyone else.
It's too obvious. We have to have a plot twist in there somewhere.
Stupid waste of time. There's nothing to be discovered out there, but not even a decent rock formation.
Oh, it's all right, Rodney. We have to keep the less traditional writers happy.
Merry Christmas.
My watch must be off.
Guess what I found in the wine cellar?
What?
Wine.
That's hardly surprising.
But it seems to be older than your original horror story.
Oh, and tasty, too. Don't just stand there. Open it so we can have toast.
Anything in particular?
Our partnership. We've had a couple of marvelous plot points already.
Awful cold-blooded, you know. I suppose you want us to bury them together in the same plot with a double tombstone that reads, "Here lie 2 plot points."
Anyone find anything?
Mildred found a marvelous decaying bottle of wine in the cellar.
I must apologize to all of you. You were right, the island is deserted.
Live and learn.
Now, if everyone will listen to me for a moment, I say we gather up Jane and give her the 3rd degree. You know, put her under a bare bulb while we sit around chewing gum and cracking nuts.
Because if it isn't Jane, then it's one of us.
Impossible.
Rodney, you have been consistently wrong about everything this evening.
You think it's one of us?
It has to be. I just found Jane with her head in the oven and the gas turned on.
Dead?
She wasn't baking an apricot upside-down cake.
Good God.
That's such a stupid line, Brad. Say something more pertinent.
Did you turn off the gas?
That's pertinent.
Seems to me it's time we solve these murders. Before you know it, we'll all be dead. It's just like in those books that woman writes. Agatha something.
Christie.
Yes. We need to borrow one of her theories. The person who committed the crime is the least likely one. For us, the one who did it would be the one who was done off with first. They're only pretending.
Oh, that's done to death. In fact, I saw it in a play once. All men should die. By some Frank or Fred Carmichael?
Never heard of him.
So much for Agatha Christian.
Christie, darling, Christie.
That theory doesn't hold water. Summers is dead, all right. Whit and I carried her upstairs, and we know.
Agreed.
Then it must be one of us.
How?
Well, we all spent the night at that dreary motel in the mainland, so any one of us could have rented or stolen a yacht, putt-putted out here, killed Summers, come back, and been down for breakfast. A squirt of marine in the eyes, and who would know? Me, anyone, but Whit or me, of course, because we're married and sleep together, as unusual as that may seem these days.
But either one of us could give the other a sleeping pill and done it.
You and your big mouth.
Oh.
Now that you found that we're all potentially guilty, what's next?
Maybe if we all say what we're thinking, we'll hit on something.
My mind's on having another...
Another drink.
Brilliant deduction, Miss Maxwell. What's next?
We tell each other's on our minds?
Oh! What about you, Benedict? We don't know what you're thinking.
Well, it's just that, if I were to say what's on my mind, I'm sure no one would agree. I've been trained to think differently than you have. If I were like my heroes with their electronic equipment, I would go back to before we searched the island, before Jane was killed. This innocent-looking thing is a homing device. I would have planted it on each person, and then, with this innocent-looking pen, I could have listened in on any conversation that they might have had. That's what I would have done. Then, when they went to search the island, ready and go.
Which way is north again?
That way.
I wish someone would move this block.
Now to use this innocent-seeming device.
For that peppy feeling, use Blood Pep every morning. It's time to stop being dead.
Wrong channel.
No, I thought I'd never get you alone.
That's Jane's voice.
I've got the plans, but we better not be seen talking out here. Even those stupid authors might suspect something.
But who's she talking to?
Meet me in the living room. I've got the plans hidden away in the book. Oh, no, not here. Save the romance for later. Oh, all right, if you insist.
Those spies are all the same. The living room? That's here. I better conceal myself and find out who the master spy is.
get back.
Where are the plans?
Keep your shirt on, I'm getting them.
Chaotic will pay millions for those. Millions!
Here they are.
Perfect. Every missile site on the eastern seaboard. How did you get them?
The usual way. No one can resist my body.
The entire eastern seaboard?
In 6 days, I was slowed down in Jacksonville.
Incredible.
Now I want what's coming to me.
And that's exactly what you're going to get.
I want the dough. This is no time to fix your hair with that innocent-seeming comb.
Your usefulness is over, my dear. Now those plans are mine. But what to do with you? I know. The oven. Stupid authors will never realize Chaotic is mixed up in this. They're too concerned with themselves.
So that's it. Now to listen to what he's doing with that poor maid.
Good Lord, she's heavy.
He's getting old.
I'm not getting old, just tired. Now down you go. Open comes the oven door. And on goes the gas.
Now for the showdown. The way I write it, I get the plans back and capture Rodney Duckton, master spy. Reality isn't so different from imagination after all.
Now to condense those plans onto microfilm. Oh, did you find anything in your search of the island?
Never mind the act, Rodney. Give me the plans.
Of course, Brad Benedict. Right after I comb my hair.
Don't pull that innocent-seeming comb on me. See this?
I know about that innocent-seeming cigarette lighter. I can stop you fast enough.
The innocent-seeming wristwatch!
That's right, brother.
So you win, but you won't keep the plans.
Of course I will. They're right here, and they're all mine. Whoa! Good Lord!
When they touch a chaotic agent, they self-destruct in 5 seconds.
I should have known. I killed Summers and then Gregory and Jane to get those, and now my plans have all gone up in smoke. What are you doing?
Just tying my shoelaces.
Do you think that innocent-looking shoelace is any match for my innocent-looking wristwatch?
That's what they're made for.
Then take this.
The innocent-seeming tie pin! Ah! Oh, this is wrong, all wrong. Chaotic isn't supposed to win.
You didn't write this, brother. This is reality.
Oh, Bradley Bruce Benedict, it's not a good idea to say what's on your mind. Of course Rodney may be the murderer. He's old and senile and his mind might have snapped. Now stop it! Every time someone thinks they know who the murderer is, that person gets killed. I'll just say nothing.
Mr. Benedict? Brad?
Oh, sorry, my mind was wandering.
You were just saying that if you told us what was on your mind, we wouldn't believe it. So, what is on your mind?
Nothing, not a thing.
That's what I thought.
However, I can make a prediction.
Well, go ahead and make it.
Ronnie, you're gonna get killed next.
That's not a very nice thing to say.
Nevertheless, it follows the pattern.
What pattern?
I'd rather not say.
If you know something and you're not telling us, that's cheating. We're supposed to be collaborating.
Oh, here's the first book I ever wrote.
This is no time for narcissism. Why did you say I was going to be killed next?
Because you are.
Everyone is wrong about everything tonight.
Thank God for that.
Is he dead? Ask a silly question, get a silly answer.
It's a poison gas capsule set to a spring inside this hollowed-out book. The killer knew. Foolproof way to get Brad.
Why? Any one of us could have opened that.
Not that book, dear. It was his first. Remember Lightning Tube?
Oh, yes. God, that was awful.
But he improved after that.
The killer knew none of us would dream of opening that book except for Brad.
Oh, marvelous, Mildred. Oh, your famed detective mind still works even when you're not writing the story. Keep going.
I can't think with the body in the living room.
Oh.
Since there are 2 gentlemen left, I suggest they move Mr. Benedict.
Which way?
With the others, I guess?
Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Jane's in the kitchen. Oh, Summers is upstairs. Gregory's in the pantry. Oh, we'll put him in the hallway.
Well, now things are getting exciting.
I must admit to feeling a trifle nervous.
Oh, rot. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty of the whole business. This is when I shine.
I wish we could figure it out from some comfortable lounge in the mainland.
They'd only make us come back, return to the scene of the crime and all that.
Well, I, for one, am ready to leave Vulture's vault.
I, for two, agree with you. But how do we go about it?
Well, in the movies, when a plane crashes on a deserted island, they always write the most tremendous help in the sand.
Excellent suggestion.
Only one thing wrong with it.
What?
No sand. The island is completely rock.
We can build a fire.
Yes, out of rocks. Weren't you ever a Boy Scout?
No, they took away my badge when they found my canteen full of martinis.
There's a time when a sense of humor is unwelcome, Mr. Olive. And this is one of those times.
The furniture!
I assume that's a non sequitur, Rodney, but you did succeed in changing the subject.
We'll burn the furniture. Oh. The smoke will bring help, and then we'll write up this whole thing for the TV show. I'll take this chair. Jess, have you got any matches?
Yes.
Whitney, do you think you can manage that table?
I've been under one smaller, but I'll try.
I must say I have very little confidence in this scheme.
Me too.
Why is that?
It's too simple.
Far, far too simple. If it were that easy, everyone in all of our books would have done it.
Maybe we never thought to have them think of it?
I'll answer that when I figured it out.
Now, pile that on top of one another.
This table feels like stone. Do you think they'll burn?
If we start a fire, I'll go to the larder and get some marshmallows.
Ow! Get away, damn thing!
What happened?
A bee stung me!
What? Let me see.
I'll make some mud. That's the best thing.
Oh dear.
It's bad, isn't it?
Very.
What?
Now, come along. Come on. Jessica's made some beautiful mud. And if you don't use it, she's just gonna put it on her face.
But it hurts.
Of course it does, but you're a brave boy.
Goodbye, Rodney Ducton. You were one of my favorite authors. Bee sting indeed. I used that one in the case of the South American headhunter. A blowgun dot when I see one. Dipped in curare, no doubt. They always are. Aha! The unusual weapon. This is right up my line. Mildred, my girl, go to it. Now, for the surprise ending. The killer can't be Jessica because she was helping him with the chair. And it couldn't have been Whitney because he was helping with the table onto the chair. Therefore, by the process of elimination, the killer is me. How's that for a surprise ending? Except I didn't do it. I know that. And if I didn't do it, it had to have been one of those olives. It's just like I'd construct it, down to 3 people, and one of them is the murderer. Now, how would I conclude it? The olives would come in all shocked that Rodney was killed with a blowgun dart. Yes, that's how it should begin.
Mildred, it's Rodney.
What about him?
He's dead.
It wasn't a bee sting. It was a dart from a blowgun.
The kind of murder you'd commit.
What do you know?
Go ahead and confess, Mildred, so the 3 of us can finish writing this story, and then you can give yourself up.
The royalties will be astounding.
We'll make sure your next of kin gets your share.
Well, how very generous. But you've forgotten one thing.
That line again?
Yes, you've forgotten that I know I didn't do it.
We forgot about that.
Yes, you were doing it without my intriguing mind.
How true!
Well, why did you do it?
Surely you can figure that out.
We're getting washed up. No new ideas. Our stories are pedantic.
Sloppy.
Predictable. The only way they'll sell is to get rid of the competition.
So we're ridding the world of all mystery writers one by one.
We're quite insane.
Utterly, completely mad.
I should have known. Well, there's only one thing left to do, isn't there?
What?
Kill me, of course. Oh, I didn't say that. You didn't hear me. Tell me you didn't hear me.
We heard you.
Oh, me and my big mouth.
Whitney Olive, put that down. It's my turn.
It is not.
It is so.
It's not.
It's so.
While you are figuring that out, why don't I go upstairs and freshen up?
Stay where you are. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Jessica!
Whitney!
How's that for a surprise ending? Oh, it won't work though, will it? No, it's stupid and silly. I'd tear it out of my typewriter and start all over again. The truth is, none of us can predict reality. I'll just sit here and wait and see it like my readers do. I suppose it's time for them to come back in, saying,
Mildred, it's Rodney.
What about him?
He's dead.
It wasn't a bee sting. It was a dart.
From a blowgun. Yes, I know.
Of course you know. It's your kind of murder.
It may be the kind of murder I'd write, but not the kind I'd commit. I'm not the murdering type.
Neither are we.
Well, one of you must be, or both of you.
It wasn't either of us, so it must be you.
No, I was just thinking, though, of something.
What?
Give me that.
No, not until I search it.
Oh, just let her have it. She can't use your master charge here.
I thought she was a murderer. I didn't think she was a purse snatcher.
Aha! See?
It's not your shade.
You think you can fool an old hag like me? Take that.
She's completely crackers.
If you're hungry, there's food in the kitchen.
It's just lipstick.
Surprise, surprise.
Then how did you do it? Where's the blowgun?
We could ask you the same question.
Yes, how did you do it?
Me?
If it wasn't either of us, it must be you.
Either of you? Why not both of you?
You honestly think we'd go around killing people? Why don't you go away somewhere?
No, I'm not going to fall for a line like that. I'm going to stay right here and keep an eye on you.
Well, we're gonna stay right here and do ditto.
How long before one starves to death?
I'd die of thirst long before.
I'm not going to waste any time. There's money to be made in this, and I'm going to make it. I'm going to break into magazines first, then serial rights, and then movie rights. This is going to be my biggest moneymaker. I think I'll call this a night of horror.
It isn't over yet.
She gotta finish it in jail?
Damned typewriter doesn't work.
You are old-fashioned, Mildred. It's electric.
Thank you, dear. Oh, where's the button? Aha!
So go on, don't let us disturb you.
You seem over anxious for me to start. Oh, genius.
What is?
Electricity. This typewriter is rigged to electrocute me.
Oh, really?
You think I'd fall for that over the genius things that I've written?
That's over the top. Even if we were guilty, we'd never write anything so stupid.
Stupid? Why, one of my best murders was the electric heater in the bathtub.
I'll type it for you. Wit, darling.
Yes, dear.
You by chance didn't rig this, did you?
Jessica!
I had to ask. M-A-R-T-I-N-I. There you go, Mildred. It's all yours.
It was a good idea.
Use it sometime.
A Night of Horror by Mildred Z.
It was rigged!
Is she dead?
Everybody else is. She's bound to be. Yep, dead as a doornail. Ooh, I hated that line.
The murderer must have known it would kill her. No one else would type the letter Z.
Oh, she shorted out the typewriter.
At least she went out writing. That's rather poetic justice.
Oh my God.
What is it, darling?
It's you!
I was thinking the same thing about you.
It wasn't me, it must be you!
It's not me, and there's no one else here, so it had to be you.
Oh, that's good. You're suffering pains of remorse. That's good. Get it out, get it out.
I'm not crying because of any pangs.
Then why?
Because this is the first time you've ever kept anything from me.
I haven't kept a thing from you.
What do you call 6 murders? Nothing? Our whole marriage is over. It was based on love and trust and mutual faith, and now you have lied to me.
I could say the same about you.
No, you couldn't. I'm innocent.
Oh, so am I.
I don't believe you.
Jessica, look at this face.
Oh, I have always loved that face. Even the peculiar parts of it.
What peculiar parts?
Well, your nose isn't what it should be, and one eye is different than the other.
How do you like that? Here, all these years, I've never complained about all your different hair colors.
I was only trying to please you.
Jessica, you've always known when I was lying. Look at my face. I didn't commit those beastly murders.
Oh, Whit, I believe you. Of course, I believe you.
Oh, good. So tell me one thing.
What is it, darling?
Why did you do it?
I didn't! I swear on our next royalty checks I didn't.
Really?
Cross my heart and hope to. Oh, I take that back. I did not say that.
Well, if it wasn't either of us, and everybody else here is dead, then we finally come upon the perfect crime.
We always said it could be committed.
We should celebrate.
The wine.
Excellent idea. Oh, I hope it's a good year.
I feel rather foolish having suspected you, darling.
That's okay, dear. I suspected you.
I'm just gonna sit here drinking until the launch comes.
We'll be delightfully tipsy.
It is rather hard to be excited about work after tonight.
Ah, this will help.
It's bound to.
Here is to the perfect crime yet to be committed.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh.
That was not a good year.
That wasn't even a good month.
Do you think that's made from grapes or onions?
Bitter and acrid, that's what it tastes like. Where have I heard that before?
You wrote it in the case of the poisoned corpse, remember?
That's right. The wine was bitter and acrid. Jessica,
Whitney?
the murderer knew we'd drink this.
Damn.
That's okay, dear. At least we're going together.
It's not that. It's just now we won't know who did it.
Oh, that is rather disturbing.
It's like getting to the last page of a mystery book and having it say, guess who?
Oh.
Perhaps we'll find out in the great library in the sky.
You think they'll have all of our books?
Oh, bound in gold leaf.
We'll be at the top of the bestseller list every Sunday.
Heavenly.
Exactly.
Oh. But I want to know who did it now.
So do I, darling.
What's that?
Wait, someone's coming. We're gonna get our last wish. We're gonna know who did it.
But I'm too tired to turn my head.
Would you stop dragging your feet and hurry up?
Here I am.
Deborah Summers?
What a bore.
Don't you like it?
It's been done to death. The first one killed is the murderer.
I could swear you were dead when we carried you upstairs.
I was.
I loathe science fiction.
Deborah Summers was dead. I am Donna Summers.
That is even worse. Her twin sister, I presume?
That's correct.
Oh, dirty pool. Such dirty pool.
After you two are gone, I shall have done it. The perfect crime.
Oh, but why?
Deborah, my sister, she always had everything. I had nothing.
Oh, I detest these speeches.
Long and boring.
Hear me out. After Deborah told me that she was going to bring you down here and that she had written the most fantastic murder script in history.
Let me guess, you needed to do her one better.
So you committed real murders.
How did you know?
We write these things.
We used to write them. Wit, I can't take any long speeches from her. I'm going now.
But I've got a right to say something. Every murderer gets to tell how they did it step by step.
Not this time, old girl. Sorry to leave you.
But I have so much to say. My murders. I have made history here tonight. I have committed the ultimate in crime, the perfect mystery.
I don't think so.
Doesn't have any punch.
Rewrite. It needs a complete rewrite.
I think it's excellent.
No. You know nothing about this. We are the experts. You can come in now.
The suspense is terrific.
But the characters aren't any good.
You can't combine all those different styles into one coherent work.
I heard everything off stage.
What if we brought in Jack Clubb after the first murder?
Jack Clubb is out. He was good in his time.
Perhaps if we made him a man from the CIA.
The people are tired of that, aren't you?
Rodney, darling, they still think we're on the island.
You don't, do you?
We told them that we were leaving the studio, going to the island. We closed the curtain, opened it up again, so naturally, they thought we were on the island.
Just because we said so?
Of course.
Oh, what a fabulous group you are. A trifle little gullible, but fabulous.
Oh, if we work any longer, we'll have to get overtime. I mean, the union said...
I'm well aware of the unions. I'll write you out a check immediately.
I hope you were pleased with our work.
You were marvelous, darling.
When you get the script finished, can we audition for the parts?
Oh, of course.
We won't pay above scale.
I'll have to talk to my agent.
We don't want to keep the audience here any longer, do we?
Heavens no, they'd be bored to death with the rewrites.
Thank you all for coming tonight. Your reactions were a big help. You see, before we came here tonight, we met in the restaurant across the way and decided that this would be the best thing to do. Pretend that we were on the island. Even Deborah Summers liked it, and she did turn in a reasonably good performance.
I used to do a little community theater.
Do you suppose they got their money's worth?
Of course, darling. 8 murders? What did they expect? World War III?
So, go ahead and go home, Nats. Don't worry, murders are only in books and stories. They can't happen here.
What's that?
It came from over there.
That's a rumor. What is it? What's happening?
It's
What?
Murder?
Quiet. Let her talk.
poison in the refreshment.
Oh, I'm glad we were backstage at intermission.
Quiet.
I know who did it.
Who was it?
Yes. Don't say another word.
What are you doing?
Don't let her give away the ending. This is a real crime. This is our story. Now all we have to do is figure out who did it.
If Jack Clubb were here, he'd look for a beautiful woman.
I wonder if he has any secret plans on her.
Poison is always a wonderful idea, but which one? Something rare, I hope.
We best have a martini and discuss it.
Oh, good idea. We need a second murder, though.
This isn't in my contract.
We're going into overtime.
What a great show, if I say so myself.
You did.
These guys are great, aren't they? You guys are great too. And now it's time to reward you for your patience and your cooperation.
Oh. If you've got your raffle tickets, pull them out.
Oh, pull out your raffle tickets. Oh, we need a bucket.
Bucket.
Ah, there's the man with the bucket.
The man with the bucket.
More.
And the lucky number is 963985. Who is it?
Should we bring the house lights up?
963985.
Keep it. When I'm dead, you'll be rich.
If you will indulge us for a few more minutes, usually we wait till the closing performance to acknowledge the director, but as you probably know, this is Barb's last production with Asbury Players. So we thought we would give each of the audiences a chance to embarrass her, to recognize her value and worth in all the 15 some years of being involved with Asbury Players. So on behalf of everybody, thank you for all you've done. build sets, and so he's put together all of these fabulous sets that we've done all these years. And luckily, he's found another sucker to take over.
Thank you, Dave.
I think Barbara has a few words.
You have a speech?
I do. I have some notes for everyone.
Oh.
No, I do have a few things I want to say. I'm something of a genius.
Wait a minute, that's my line.
And modest.
I've never fooled myself. There it is, it's a fact. I am a genius. Just kidding, I'm not. I'm just the lucky one who got tapped to direct Harvey in 2007 to replace Chuck Johnstone, who started the Asbury Players with Spoon River Anthology in 1990. Done to Death is the 16th and the last show I'm directing here. You've only been able to see 15 of those shows, though, because we had to cancel one at the very last minute, the day before we were going to build the set on the altar of the church. And I promise you, it was the best show anyone ever directed.
We had all of our lines early.
It was perfect. I can honestly say that, because nobody can prove otherwise. Every show has been special for us, for one reason or another, but I think I can speak for all of us that this one is extra special. Not only is it the last one Dave and I are going to do, but it's a reminder of what we've all missed the last couple of years. Being together. Stop it. Hanging out together, just having fun together, laughing, working on something that we think is fun. That's what I'm going to miss most when we move to Portland. We're leaving behind a group of people who we will treasure forever for their hard work, their creativity, and their unwavering dedication to putting on a show. So I hope you'll continue to support their efforts in the future and maybe even join them. I happen to know they're looking for a director. So, thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming.